together with all of our amazing partners from across gender equality initiatives, maritime and ocean-related corporates, entrepreneurs, and supporting partners, we have gathered you guys here to do the first small, intimate kickoff towards She Conference in April, to engage everybody to take part in the most amazing gender initiatives that I think our industries have seen so far. With me on the stage tonight for a very packed 1 hour and 15 minutes, we have a mix of amazing people. We have Anette Trettebergstuen, our own Minister of Culture and Equality, that is coming on stage later. We have investors, owners, leaders, entrepreneurs, gender equality change makers. We hope, I think all that are in the room tonight will already be part of this in some way, but we're going to bring you into a number of specific action-based initiatives where you can play a part, whether you are an individual or you're representing a company. Before introducing Anette, I will just give you a small trip down memory lane, working with gender equality in the maritime industry now for more than 15 years. I'm founder of Tool, serial entrepreneur and former corporate leader in the maritime industry. And with the Ocean Opportunity Lab, we aim to unlock a tender to exchange resources across small and big players, young people, seniors, and of course, bridging the gender gap for the ocean and energy innovators ecosystem. And why is this important for me? Well, of course, I've been in this industry for now since I was 23, and I just turned 40 last year. And we believe that in order to build back better, we need more women to lead, found, own, and invest for the future. So we are now going to introduce 2 specific global initiatives. Many of you have already signed up for the Global Female Candidate Pool, connecting female leaders and board candidates for small and big companies. And we're also going to look into the 100 inspirational female founders. Before that, I will take you on board a voyage towards equality. When I first started speaking in front of the industry many years ago in 2008, I said in my initial slide that my ambition is to change the industry. Everybody laughed. They were like, who then? Is this stupid, naive young girl who thinks that she can take on changing an industry and even coming from the outside? And now let's see. So, January 2011, we got the first big global media cover by Lloyd's List, where they said that a generation of Norwegian shipping socialists says dugnad. So dugnad to drive and engage more young people to choose our industries and to change the image and perception of the maritime industry. And even then, this was before the UN SDGs was established, we talked about environment and entrepreneurship to make that happen. So, fast forward to 2012, Vista Norway had started awarding the annual Leadership Award. And I was so lucky to be handed out that award in 2012 already, and that opened up for me the door to a global microphone that has changed everything since. And Julie Brottkorp and Inga Marte Torkelsen, they announced me and Hadja Tajik, I think, among 10 most important women of Norway for the future. Then we come to 2013, the first big talk at the American Shipping Finance Gathering in Connecticut, where young guns call for role models. And we said that the Global World Championship for Talents call for inspirational role models. At that time, I guess I didn't know that I would also be one of them. What's really cool now is that now we have many, many, many. In 2013, we also made the headquarters of IMO in London, challenging them to give the next generation a place in the big global decision-making processes. And then, 2014 and 15, ambassadoring for the Women at the Helm initiative by the UNIMO, and also challenging the industry in the global media. In 2016, the focus was to get more women on board, We had the Norwegian business magazine Kapital for the first time announcing the most inspiring 10 female candidates, and we started to be all over the world talking, and also utilizing North Shipping as one of the biggest global industry expos and platforms to also drive that equality change and the shift. So the message is clear: we want more women on board. Then came 2017. I think I hadn't realized the kind of shocker or the negative kind of perspectives to address Me Too in maritime. So I wrote a very kind of quite balanced article engaging men and women to take on harassment and a good working culture from the inside, rather than to wait to get it from the outside. And it kicked some waves, to be frank. And now I posted this morning on LinkedIn asking my journalists and industry colleagues to, is this article still that provocative 5 years later? And I think now the message is like, no, now it's kind of obvious. 2018 was when we decided, me and Heidi Aven and She Community and Sanjay Gupta in India, that Norway moved too slow. So what do we do when things aren't moving fast enough? Well, if you knock on the door at home and there's no reaction, then you have to go somewhere else. So we went to India. So we teamed up with Sanjam and started building what is today the world's biggest equality conference in the maritime industry, as a bilateral collaboration between Norway and India, and with both governments on our side since the beginning. And also where Maersk has been a sponsor and partner from the beginning. So it helped. Then we brought it back to She Conference in Oslo Spektrum. And last year we had the first big ocean and energy track at She Conference ever. Then 2018, we worked with industry media while starting to design a tool for change. So now we're getting close. And I also made a very strong commitment to use the experience that I had to do something bigger. Do something bigger than me as a person. Do something that could unite and connect women across age groups, levels, small, big organizations, across industry segments and the geographical region. And then, just this December last year, for the first time ever, Lloyd's List included a female entrepreneur in maritime among 100 most influential people, which is kind of unheard of that it didn't happen before. And the next goal is that the next time they publish their annual report, which is like the Forbes list for maritime globally, there should be even more women and more female founders on that list. So let's make that happen and continue to smash those ceilings. So we are towards She Conference, 18-19 April in Oslo Spektrum. We are now working on the iteration and improvement of the first inspirational female founders list that we started building 2 years ago, and that came out first time in Mumbai at the Maritime She Conference in November. So now we have gathered 100 female founders across ocean and renewable energy, but we think that there are many more of them. So we're going to publish a revised overview at She Conference. I hope everybody will help me nominating and finding these women. And we're doing it in partnership with She, Maritime She-O, and also with Equinor and Techstars Energy Accelerators, that we help finding female founders for their Techstars Accelerator program. And then, of course, that what we are truly celebrating extra tonight is that we have started building up the first ever global candidate pool for females in the ocean and energy space. This has been done strictly as a very organic initiative, but we have now more than 300 female candidates from across more than 20 countries that are up for executive board roles, leader roles, advisory board roles, etc. And here we want, of course, to unite those that are already in powerful positions, but then we also want to make it easier for the companies that are now starting to truly create targets for themselves. Because they tell us that it's difficult to find women. And we also know that we need to get many, many more of our existing females out there and visible so that many, many more younger girls and women will be inspired to follow. Because when we look at this from the Norwegian side, ocean and energy, I mean, that's what we provide to the world. It is so important, it's so international, there's so many opportunities to really drive this change and pioneer it from up in the high north. So now we know that most of you who are here tonight have actually already joined the pool, and we are going to introduce some of the amazing companies that have joined now from the beginning. Before I'm giving the word over to Minister Anette Trettebergstuen, I'm just going to introduce some of my team members that are involved in this initiative. And Benedicte Mjøs, who heads the Candidate Pool Initiative, is going to say a few words. And then I wonder if Glenn is here and Amalia.
Thank you, Birgit. This is my business sister. She's a bit more bold and a bit more rebellious than me, but we work very good together, and I really, really enjoy it. We met in Wilhelmsen, both working there many years back. I was the VP for strategy, and Birgit was working in HR with people. So this is really today also a combination of strategic, I think, competence and leadership and HR competence and many other competencies. So it's a good start when we started together. This initiative is so important. We have come some way, both in the ocean and the energy sector, when it comes to, having a little bit more women on board on senior leadership roles and also board roles, but it's so little progress actually. I saw the last numbers that I've seen, and it was 2% still, 2.1% of female in maritime industry. And it's when you look at senior position roles in energy sector, it's 12% of women in senior leadership roles. So we still have a quite good way to go, which is one of the reasons that we are here. We want to build a global female leadership pool where we create the opportunity for women out there that wants to step up, that wants to be visible, that wants to go out and contribute to change the industry that we love. We love this ocean industry, we love this energy industry, and we want to be part of changing it into a more bærekraftig, sustainable industry for the future. And that's why we're here. Actually, myself, I come from a family of very, very hardworking women, and I'm so proud of them. But I look at them as well, and they are hardworking, but they are very loyal. And they adjust their own needs and their own potential all the time. They stay where they are, and they work and work and work, but they're not really visible. And that's one of the reasons, personally, I would like to be here, contributing to this initiative all around the world, because I know so many hardworking women all around the world that is not really on the radar, that is not really visible, that is not really out there. And we really want to, help all of our sisters, business sisters, in coming out there and contributing. So I'm looking so much forward to this initiative and to build it together with you, Birgit, and the rest of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Benedicte. And I have to say before I bring Anette to the stage as well that we are a commercial company predominantly owned by women, led by women, founded by women, and the majority of our team is men. No, women. So we are actually now actively looking to recruit more men. So I mean, balance and diversity both ways. We have a fantastic minister in the role of leading culture and equality. And Anette, I know that you guys are working hard also now to initiate new forces system-wise to drive equality. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Welcome on the stage.
Thank you so much, Birgit. You are, as always, a big inspiration for me, and all your initiatives is really, really, really. You don't only talk the talk, you walk the walk. So I'm happy to be here, and I must admit that it is the first time that I've been invited to anything by a mermaid. Let alone a chief mermaid, Birgit. I'm happy to be here. So, how could I say no to a kickoff celebrating initiatives that aim to empower and enable women in ocean energy industries worldwide? No one can say no to that. The Ocean Opportunity Lab will be launching 2 key initiatives this year, the Global Female Candidate Pool and the 100 Inspirational Female Founders in Oceans and Energy. An important goal is to inspire more women to take the helm. Sounds great. And as you know, women's rights and gender equality, more women into male-dominated sectors are of course key goals also for the Norwegian government. When it comes down to the basics, equality is a question of what's fair and what's not fair. When half the population keeps missing out on the same opportunities as the other half, when they keep missing out on power or money, privileges, independence, it's simply not fair. We can all agree on that. If you are a business owner and you keep limiting recruitment to merely half of the talent pool, that's not smart either. To me and to all of us gathered here today, I think it goes without saying that if you want your ocean or your energy business to tackle the ongoing challenges of sustainability, technology, and you want to make profit, then you need a diversity of talents on board. You need a broad variety of ideas, and you need a broad variety of minds. Not just 8 men who all are all the same age, who went to the exact same school together back in the 90s, as it is in many, many cases, too often. As you say, and as we know, we have a far too long way to go. If we look at the 200 largest companies in Norway, we'll find that even though women for years have been overrepresented on higher education, they are still underrepresented as executives and in the boardrooms. Less than 16% of the CEOs are female, only 13% of the chairs of the boards are women. Only 27% of the members of the executive committees are women. In the energy companies, 22% of the operational executives are female. In fact, small increase since 2020, but in the maritime industries really aren't much better. Women by numbers should be breaking all sorts of infamous glass roofs by now in all sorts of industries. But somehow there's just barely audible cracking sound going on. And the pace we are moving in really isn't taking anyone's breath away. So what's the problem? Because everyone has been saying that we really want equality, we really want more women on board. For ages, they have been saying that. Well, and studies also show that 10 of the major companies in Norway prefer female candidates if all else is equal. If all else is equal. Is it? All else equal when we compare female and male candidates? No, of course not. All else equal often stops where family life begins. Women with children admit in surveys that they still carry a heavier load of domestic responsibilities at home, even if they really don't want it to be that way. It just happens. Do some of you agree?
Yeah.
For business owners, of course, it's easier to choose the guy who always are able to throw in some extra hours at the office. That's why it's vital for businesses to structure work life in a way that makes it possible to combine it with everyday family life. Individual portfolios and bonuses just aren't that compatible with picking up your kids from kindergarten. We all know that. Me as a minister and us as a government, we are going to do our part. We are providing a welfare state and welfare solutions that have the aim to allow people to, both women and men, to be parents and to have a career. It requires political action on the structural level, and we are on it. Oh yes, we are. And while you were knocking on the government's door back in the days, and you had to go to India, I just have to say, we're here now. Knock on my door. We are taking action. We are not going to sit around and wait anymore. So, as you know, just before Christmas, we proposed a bill that will ensure that all large private firms must have boards that consist of at least 40% of women. And believe me, simply mentioning gender quotas makes some business owners turn red. Some call it old-fashioned, a ghost from the 70s. And many of them say, it's going to be impossible, we don't have the women. But the fact is that gender quotas quite simply work. It's perfect, like clockwork. So many business owners say they want gender equality. So why not embrace the most efficient tool of all? Another instrument that will be important also in the future, in the years to come, is something that we call ARP. This regulation ensures that private enterprises with more than 50 employees must be transparent on matters such as gender. How many women are there in the executive committees? Do they have equal pay? Facts and numbers in the reports? Let's see them. And I think we will see some positive effects also of this regulation in the years to come. A last project that I'm working on, and I think you're going to love this. It's called Sex and Salmon. Yeah. Fishing and aquaculture industries are still largely male-dominated. That's why we are here. And we need to know more about what's keeping women so poorly represented. That's why we initiated this common Nordic research project through the Nordic Council of Ministers. Through Sex and Salmon, we'll find out more about these economies and female participation. I don't think everything will be enjoyable reading, but that's why it's so important. And also Susanne Mortensen, I know you're here today, can't see you. Yeah, Susanne is here. She has been one of the bravest persons I met through the last year. She's openly told her story about sexual harassment while working on a fishing boat. And we all know that harassment can drive women away from industries that are male-dominated. Harassment drives women away from their dream jobs. And this is also a matter that we are working on separately. Sexual harassment is illegal. It's unacceptable in any shape or form. And it can never be excused as a joke or a dialect. Harassing a co-worker or an employee is not dialect. We are now working on a white paper on sexual harassment. I will find out what it takes to end it, and then we will end it. And this is a work that we are doing together with the industries that have a lot of sexual harassment or are in the farezone. Yeah.
The danger?
Yeah, that have, yeah. You get my point. And I will invite you in to give me your stories and your suggestions on how to make this stop. So, Tool and Chief Mermaid Liaden, as you can see, we have a lot of common goals. Empowering and enabling women to take the helm in top positions and in male-dominated industries such as ocean energy. That is a great initiative for this new year and for years to come. And with your new pool of female candidates, no male business owner can no longer say, we don't have those women. So your work will actually make my work easier when I come to contest. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for your engagement, for your work and your initiatives. And I'll be happy to follow you in the years to come and your great achievements. Thank you.
Thank you so much. welcome some of the first speakers. We also have one of the really amazing, engaged, equality-focused owners in aquaculture here who's coming after. Aino Leisen is here. She's also among the female investors in Tool that we aim to get even many more of. But before hearing from Aino and a few others, I am super excited to have Stine Mundal, President of Vista Norway, and Jacqueline Burton, who I think will come after Stine, who is the founding board member of Captains Without Borders, with me. And Stine will talk about our shared initiative and the 30 by 30.
Hello, my name is Stine Mundal. I'm president of Vista Norway, but that's my hobby. I have a normal daytime job in Norsk Veritas as a key account manager for the ship owners here in the Oslo area, and I think one of my customers are women. Yeah. Vista, it's a members organization. It's for maybe you've seen the roll-up here. Women in Shipping and Trading Association. It's an international organization with actually more than 50 countries now. And we are then the Norwegian branch of this organization. We have approximately 300 plus members in Norway, and we do member events, but we also collaborate with the government and with the organizations in the industry. So I will not talk about everything we do, but we started an initiative last year that I would like to talk a little bit about.
As a leader in the maritime industry, you obviously want the sharpest brains on your team. You want to access the best talent from the total population, not just half of it. So when over 60% of graduates in Norway are female, why limit yourself to under half of the talent pool? Why should you lose out on the documented benefits that gender equality brings? 40% of management positions in the maritime industry to be held by women by 2030 is the goal to strive for. Sign the Vista Norway 40 by 30 pledge and unleash the potential.
So 8th of March last year, on International Women's Day, we launched the 40 by 30 pledge and initiative by Vista Norway. We launched it on social media. We were not really sure if we were able to do a physical meetup when we planned this around Christmas 21. Do you know the status of, someone mentioned some other numbers. Leaders in the maritime industry, in shipping, how many percentage? It's 15%. Of course, different from different parts of the industry. On board vessels, it's 2%. So we cover both. So we were discussing this, should we do 30 by 30? No, we do 40 by 30. It's better to have some stretch. But it's been really cool to see actually how it's been perceived by parts of the industry, I would say. We had a kronikk with Harald Solberg, the CEO of the Norwegian Shipowner Association, and Sjøfartsdirektøren Knut Arild Hareide. So they have been really supporting us in this initiative together with other companies, and got a lot of publicity around the launch we had on 8th of March. And it's been fantastic actually to see the momentum this has been driving. So the pledge is something the companies and organizations are signing. We actually try to use the wording to strive for. We're not going to be the police and arrest anyone in order to scare them away of not by signing. But they commit to create specific goals, to measure them, put them on the website, and strive towards 40% women in leading positions in 2030. Leading positions can mean different from company to company. And we've actually had, by now, 24 signatories, and then Jackie will talk a little bit more what we've done with the initiative, because this is not like a one-off thing.
Yeah, like Stina, I have a lot of hobbies. So this is one of them. I'm also on the Vista board and Captains Without Borders, which we'll talk about next. But we did a workshop with the signatories, with the 20 plus signatories for 40 by 30, and we really went through what are the difficulties that they're having that's preventing them from having more women in the industry, and then what can we do to change that? What are the best practices? We had that workshop, and then we compiled from the thousands of post-it notes that were thrown around in the workshop and all the ideas and grouped them together into themes. And you can find those themes actually on the website. You can download the report now. It's 6 pages. And it's, yeah, the first of many, I think.
Some parts on the Captains Without Borders initiative as well.
Yes, yes, another hobby of mine. So one of my friends from the States, who's also an unlimited licensed captain, I worked at sea for 13 years on board ships. So the getting women on board part was something we wanted to work at, because as we got the numbers from the Coast Guard in the US, there was only 184 licensed women unlimited and 18,000 men. And not great. And we were wondering, how can we change this in the industry? So we put together this foundation. Alex started it, and then she very quickly roped me into doing a lot of extra work, which is great. And we've had the great pleasure of having Mark Evans. He's paddling all the way around the Greater Loop, all around the US coast and Canada. And he's almost finished that, actually. He's been raising money for us, and what we're doing is taking that money to give scholarships to women that are from disadvantaged backgrounds when it comes to maritime, and trying to find them mentors and placements on board so that they can finish out their studies and finish their licensure. Because in order to get a license, you have to have 365 days at sea. And a lot of women that graduate from these maritime schools, they never get that opportunity to step foot on board, even though they've finished their studies, and especially from different countries. If you're from India or the Philippines, there's pipelines that you can get into to go on board. With our cadet Lulu right now that we're sponsoring, she's from Kenya, and she can only get on small vessels because those are the only people that are hiring Kenyans. There are some cruise examples that hire, but they have a really difficult time, and we want to make sure that we're getting that talent pool, because opportunity may not be evenly distributed, but we believe that talent and potential is. So we have 2 asks from Captains Without Borders. You can go on our website. We need more shipping companies to sign on to say that they're willing to take cadets from these backgrounds. So please pressure your friends. And then we have we're a charity partner for North Shipping. We collect donations through our websites. We also get donations from different fundraising activities and whatever, but we're really trying to get more women from the school to the sea. And that transition can be particularly difficult. And there's QR code that goes to our website. In the swag bags, there's a small card. So please take a minute and check and look at it. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Jackie. And of course, we will be using the ToolSpawn platform to help match the resource needs of Captains Without Borders with the resources that exist in the industry, whether it's a capital part or if it's the places on board ships. So this will be exciting. Please join us, everyone, on this. Now we are, of course, gathered today just for a very small, friendly, intimate kickoff that is by chance streamed worldwide. But the big happening this year is She Conference in April. Astrid, welcome. We can't wait to really drive the ocean and energy track at She 2023. We have an amazing VIP program. You can all sign up here tonight, whether it's a company or a participant. But yes, here we go. Start with a film, shall we?
Yes, please.
Let's make today count. Let's make it happen. Welcome to She 2022.
You know, you look so much better in the room than you do in Zoom, I have to say. You really do it.
Don't just blame it on government. We need the private sector to understand and support the SMEs.
Everyone in that business has a responsibility to speak up and speak out.
Because we have a lot to do in Norway as well. We have a lot of work to do. So we have to get more women into tech.
My superpower is my color. We have to take leadership steps and rebalance the table.
We have to have a focus on how we manage to get boys into this.
The only way you get full equality is when it's self-sufficient silo or, pyramid.
The main focus change that needs to happen is that you need to attack this structurally.
We need to challenge the way we have moved.
Has been women who have kind of held the line on progress in our country.
So the next step is to bring this out in the world and together with you guys.
If you feel the music bubbling within you or the stories bubbling within you, that we need to hear your voices.
I would love for us to do a She tribute for supporting everybody in Ukraine at the moment.
Right, there he is.
Wow.
Wow. Well, actually every time I see this movie, and I have done that a lot the last year, I get goosebumps. I am so proud and humbled to take over the role as the CEO of She Community. And it is not an easy task to bring forward the hard work that Heglaven has done. So, but the year has been great. And this conference, which I know many of you have attended and will do again, is all about concrete actions in order to empower people to make business fair for everyone. And remember that behind gender, backgrounds and titles, we are all human beings. And we all have a valuable perspective. And the strange thing is that still the bulk of leaders, entrepreneurs, investors come from the same overrepresented group. And she was born with a desire to end this lack of balance with you guys. As you can see behind me here, and the She conference is increasing in size and scope. And our goal is actually to reach about 50,000 people by 2025. And of course, I need your help to actually reach that goal. I need you guys and women to join us as partners. The possibilities is many. And together with TOO and a lot of other corporates, politicians, change makers, we want to set focus on the ocean track, bring in the brave minds, and together empower difference in April 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Astrid. And Ocean and Energy is one of the main tracks at She. And in this time where our industries are actually facing the world championships for the best talents, we need to be where the best are. So we are now mobilizing. We are doing 2 specific VIP tracks. One focus on investors and entrepreneurs. One focus on the big corporates and the leader track, and of course the candidate pool. So welcome on board, and you will see Astrid and her team later tonight upstairs when we have mingling so that you can figure out how to participate. And we have some super cool gems coming up for you planned already. So Astrid, I can't wait. So with a 80% partner discount that includes not just the normal She packages, but also the VIP track with additional things going on. This is where to go. I'm going to fast forward to, the cost of it all. For many years, we have had very bold females, and I think you've seen it for even longer in the political sector. We had our first female prime minister many years ago, but in the private sector it has been worse. And how many of you guys followed Exit when it was streaming? Everyone, yeah. So that's kind of the worst part of like the male-dominated business sectors. And then of course, us who are in these industries knows that that's very, very small niche group of people that are total douchebags. But what we didn't see in Exit were the stories of professional women. The stories of what it costs to break these glass ceilings, what it costs to be out there and to front things in the media, what it costs to actually choose to have it all. Career and a family life, professional life and a personal life. So there is now a group of female leaders, high level, from across our male-dominated industries that have worked with a couple of film directors over the past year on a concept that our friends are going to talk a little bit more about now. This is the first time that it is revealed. I am putting 100,000 of my own money into this project to fund it up faster. Wow. And we are now opening up a Splice crowdfunding, calling all for small or big donations. It doesn't matter how small or big they are, to get Ulrik and Siv's project on air globally. So,
thank you. My name is Ulrik Imtiaz Rolfsen. I am the son of a Pakistani immigrant, a patriarch of his family, and a hardcore feminist. I don't know how they met, but here I am. So I grew up with my mother. She was doing feminist art. She started a magazine called Sirena. She did sculptures of feminist pioneers like Elise Ottesen Jensen, who started RFSU. Cecilie Thoresen, the first female student at Blindern University, and so on and so on. Kristin Andersdatter, Sigrid Undset, etc. So I grew up with a feminist mother, and I'm a proud feminist. My work is, I have this thing of making films and TV series about serious subjects. But in order to have people watch them, I sort of wrap the serious issues in candy paper to make it look tantalizing and you want to eat it. So I make entertainment, but about serious issues. And I've done that. I made 4 feature films. I made TV series for NRK, DR in Denmark, and BBC in the UK. And now I want to make this series, the cost of it all. So, who do you think control the narrative? The men. Simple answer, yeah. So, in society, you mentioned Exit. Is this the narrative you want everyone in Norway and all around the world to believe is business, women in business, female leaders? No. So we've started this work. We were contacted by a group, an anonymous group of female leaders who share their stories, and they are strong stories, very, very, some sad, some exciting, a lot of fun, and they all share a common denominator: very powerful women who have paid the price. And we think the female leaders and yeah, you guys, you need to control the narrative. So we are now in development of this story, and we want to invite you to work on it. And I want to ask you, Siv, how is it for you to write stories about strong female leaders?
Well, I'd say it's a dream come true. I mean, as a writer, to be able to write stories about powerful, accomplished, tough women instead of what do you call victimized. Yeah, I mean it's wonderful because it gives me an opportunity, first of all to go into the stories and to also see what the women have had to go through in order to get where they are. And to be able to put that out there and show how capable and how great women are and what we can do. But I think it's really important that we sort of take the narrative and don't leave it to chance. From now on, what are the stories we want to tell and that we try to tell them.
Yeah, I completely agree. So the ambition for this series is an international drama series. We want to reach a global audience, and we're projecting, a 40, 50 million people audience for this drama series, and we want to sell it to a major streamer and international broadcasters. We have a lot to tell you about this story and how we're working. Like, we don't have time now, so we'll be upstairs. And the crowdfunding, we're so happy that you are kickstarting this crowdfunding with a huge sum. And we want to, every amount counts. We have support systems for film in Norway, but this is actually to speed this up, to make this story ready for broadcasters quickly. So we want to thank you again for having us, and thank you again for funding us. And we hope everyone wants to come by and hear a little bit more about the story and the project. And if you feel like it, you can also join in on crowdfunding us. Thank you.
And Steve, I think these are important stories, and if we are going to mobilize more women to choose our industries, we need to get these stories out. Not just what it costs, but also how fun it is, and how exciting it is, and what an ocean of opportunities there are. How much do you need to speed up the first stage?
Yes, well, if we can get, you support us with 100,000. If you get 300,000, we can get the pitch done really quickly to present it to streamers. If we get 800,000, we can also write the pilot script and the second episode script. The pilot script is the first episode. And then it has a much higher chance of getting commissioned by the broadcasters. If we reach our ultimate goal that we have set in this crowdfunding of 2 million, we can also shoot a pilot for this. So it's sort of a stepping investment scheme. So yeah, these are the numbers.
And I guess you would want to shoot it along like Norwegian beautiful fjords and ocean environments, attracting people to the high north. Very leading question. So we were going to actually have Susanne Mortensen on the stage now to discuss what it costs. She had to run out because she's on maternity leave and she has her baby with her. So she had to run out. But we will see her again at She Conference. And the ambition from Tool with She, with the Vista initiatives, with Susanne's initiatives, and with this is of course to make every one of these changemaker initiatives easier. Because if you can go straight to just solving and tackling the issue and connecting the dots, and you don't really have to build up the entire resource ecosystem every time, then we can get much more done. So it's just about resource efficiency, which is something in ocean energy logistics that we're actually quite good at. So I hope everybody follows my lead and joins this project, and we will then see when we hit She Conference in Oslo Spectrum and connect to the rest of the world, we will see where we are. So this is going to be exciting. Thank you so much, Ulrik and Steve. And of course, I asked some people that are very special to me to come here and speak tonight, both because they are amazing, inspirational people, great supporters, fun to explore the future with. Aino Olaisen joined as one of the predominant female investors of Tool last fall, and has just committed doubling her initial investment also just recently. And she's the chair and owner of Nova Sea. She's working a lot to get a positive focus on her industry and attract more new people. She works with entrepreneurships. She helps supporting and fueling entrepreneurships, and also bringing more entrepreneurs and people up north by the coast, which is extremely important for us for this long, narrow country. So I asked Aino if she wanted to join today to talk a little bit about Y2 and her perspectives on women, owning, investing, founding, and leading. So thank you so much for coming, Aino, and I can't wait to hear you.
Yes, thank you for the nice introduction. As Birgit said, my name is Aino Olaisen. I come from a really small and very beautiful island called Lovend, where I grew up with 250 other people on the island. I'm the chairwoman and owner of Nova Sea, which is the 6th biggest salmon company in Norway. So there are some female chairs in our industry. And I'm a salmon farmer. I've been working with salmon and fish all my life, really. Birgit asked me to tell me about why I participate in Tool as an owner. So I'm going to try to focus, lighten that a bit. Bottom line, ocean and equality is very important to me. As a woman living on an island, of course, ocean and equality is important. As an islander, living by the sea and from the sea, the sustainable use of the ocean is crucial. And I guess it's crucial for all of us. It's actually our lung. So participating and supporting projects that actually can give us better solutions, better sustainable solutions for how to use our seas are very crucial and important to me. But sustainability is not only environment and climate, it also have a social dimension, and it has a gender dimension. I want to share a personal story. When I was living on this island as a kid, it was a very traditional society. So it was men's work and it was women's work. And that was quite different, those kind of works. And the gender role pattern was quite clear. And when I was about 10, a mind-blowing thing happened, at least for me, because we got our first female prime minister. This is Gro Harlem Brundtland. And it was such an eye-opener. I remember that day still. And I was thinking, wow, everything is possible. And all these women that went before us, opening doors, like Mrs. Brundtland, like my mother did, my grandmother, I have been so grateful for them because they really changed, at least my life, very much. And that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to join Tools, because this network and the idea that Birgit has developed here, I think actually we can make a change. We can actually help, support, rise women, but also even inspire them, which is for me very important. And why is it important that women participate more? Well, we are half of the population of the world. We need new ideas, new initiative in this world to make a better change. And we need new ways of thinking. because the way we have been thinking hasn't been good enough. And then we need all kinds of initiative, ideas, energy, and passion. And we cannot afford that only 50% of the population can develop their initiatives. So that's why we need to have everyone on board. And also, it's not only important for like the world, but it's also important for each woman to become more independent and have a hand on the steering wheel, so to say. So I hope that this initiative can raise more women and inspire them to use their passion and energy and to kick some doors.
So thank you. So much, Aino. And then let's see if you can give Camilla Andersson, who's coming on the stage. Just to say that when we started planning this event, it was supposed to be just a small, intimate kind of gathering with our closest investors and partners in my house. And then it kind of grew because there has been such like crazy interest and support for it. But it's still, you know, startup organized evening this one. And with a great support from a number of supporting partners that you will check. Some of their products are in our goodie bags tonight, including cosmetic products that are made by the waste products of salmon fluid. So a new industry opportunity there. And then we have Feddy, Ocean Distillery. We have made some pretty cool special curated signature drinks in tribute of some heroes today. And Camilla, welcome on the stage to hear about female owners, young sisters, and your female investor school.
Thank you. Thank you, Birgit, and it's awesome to see so many ladies. The guys are getting richer and richer, and us women are lagging behind. Boys save enough through investing, while girls is saving on the bank account. That is why we have a huge gap on the financials between boys and girls. First, that means we need to start investing our savings. You don't need to have much, but as long as you just start investing, so make sure that the money starts growing. If you're only investing a couple of hundreds, especially when you are a young girl, that's going to increase to be around 10 millions in 30 years. So first, we need to start investing our saving. Secondly, we need to start owning shares. And you can do that either through starting your own company, as Birgit has done, or investing in other companies. And that is very important because that's where the power is. Because if you own these shares, you're getting into the power room, which is the General Assembly. And if we had a gender equality in that room, I promise you, we would have gender equality in the boards. And it's the boards that also are signing up the CEOs. So if we have the gender equality in the boards, we will not have that many guys as the CEOs, and we don't need the quotas, but we do. So, very important, start owning shares. So ladies, we need to get on this train. We must start investing our capital and make it grow. And also to be part of making decisions in our society. Because today, we don't own, we're not in the board rooms or the General Assembly rooms. So, we in Feddy Ocean Distillery have today 620 female investors, and we will be many, many more. We see that we have managed to motivate and inspire women to invest for the first time. Therefore, we also wanted to get younger ones started. And what we did is we established an investment company called Young Sisters.
made up of daughters of all the mothers who invested in faith. Today, Young Sisters consist of 52 girls between 20 and 35 years old, who together investing in various products. So they invest in the funds, they invest in stocks, or the stock exchange, and even unlisted companies. And I remember when I was having this course in the learning, because that is also one of the issue is not only making money and returns. It's more important also to learn the journey of investing. And while I was teaching them that it's a high risk to invest in unlisted company startups, because it is. But like they say, and like I say, it's so much fun. And not only are we gonna make the world's best whiskey, we're also going to save an island from being an island of emigration to become an island of immigration. So we are also going to build a destination on Fella. And I really think we can succeed because we have all this big community of over 600 women that really joining us to do this. And as Anne Gro used to say, we are going to become ST, stone rich. So it's just a matter of getting on the train. And for you that is not part of FEDE yet, you have the possibility to join the next round. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Camilla. And I have to say, you know, when we got to know each other in the boardroom.
Yeah.
And the more of us are there, alongside the guys, that's where we can truly design the future that we want to live in. Let's not make others have that role of designing our future. Let's do that together and do that very practically. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we are gonna have two of our inspirational female founders. We have Danielle, who has founded 2 shipping companies within wind ships, previously Sail Cargo and now the Veer Group. Coming all the way from Bahamas to join us today. And we have Helene Ree Ruden, who I've known for quite some time now, in Ruden Energy, Ruden Water, and Ruden Geo Solutions. And you won the ONS Innovation Award last year.
Yes.
Way! So let's see, Danielle, just join me on the stage, and I have a couple of questions for you guys. So I wanted to ask you guys, because I mean, Helena, I knew you from before, so it's kind of cheating when I started scouting for female founders around the world with my team. I of course started with the ones I knew, so there is a predominance for now, I think from Europe, from Norway, from the Nordic region that we want to change. But you were on the first 100 inspirational female founders of Ocean Energy. And Helena, can you tell us very fast, like, what is it that Ruden does? And why do we need a female founders initiative?
Okay, so thank you, Birgit, for having me here. So in Ruden, we are basically, we're rebels, but we're scientific rebels. That's our pride. We basically take everything we can from the oil and gas industry and we drag it onshore to solve other problems, such as water supply. Right now we're working using old oil data, but we look for water instead of all of Somalia. We do use a lot of the same technology now, storing surplus energy in Tromsø and later the rest of the world. Energy services we do quick clay, stabilizing for trains, roads, anything that has to do with the subsurface. Yes.
And why is there a need for a female founders initiative?
Well, I would say, I mean, seeing from my side of it, I'm a founder, so I'm basically a founder, an investor, and the leader at the same time, which I would say is a relatively lonely job, especially when technology is our main product. So I'm usually getting the technology people in and not the management people. So knowing that there's a pack, around you that can kind of, I think men are way better at this than we have been. They are kind of just do it, we will sit together and be as a group. So I really think this is amazing.
So it's a sisterhood, really.
It's a little
global
bit of sisterhood. Yes.
And of course, we're bringing the guys in there as well. We're never doing just women and women.
Absolutely, and just as you, I also have a lot of women in my companies who are actually actively looking for men too. So yeah.
That's great. And Danielle, I kind of got to know you from actually the work that we did with scouting and the lists. And you're originally from Canada, but you're not based there anymore. Can you tell us about Veer, but also maybe about just, the connection between Sail Cargo that you founded first and Veer Voyage, and then from your perspective, why this female founder initiative is needed?
I'm so glad to be here, and I've honestly never in my life ever been in a space with so many empowered women. So this is truly incredible for me. So thank you all for being here and welcoming me. This is a first. So my name is Danielle, and I'm originally from Canada, but I've spent nearly the past 7 or 8 years living in the mangrove in Costa Rica, running a project called Sail Cargo, which is where we're building a very large wooden ship in the mangroves. My mission is to prove the value of clean shipping and be a leader in the clean shipping space. I decided to scale from that wooden ship building project, which is really, really neat, and you should check it out. It's visually very stunning. We wanted to make that even larger and have a greater impact, so I separated and started Veer on my own. Veer Group, under all the social media, veer.voyage, will be the largest and only clean container ship service in the world. You can see a little picture of it there. Please come talk to me. I'm happy to talk all night long about that. And I mean, for me, with the Female Founders Initiative, again, as I said, as I started this, I've never seen anything like this. So I think just that statement alone shows why we need that. And I get told almost every day in the shipping industry, well, I started as a sailor. People are shocked when I enter the room. And maybe that's just because I'm not hanging out in Norway enough. But like they literally ask me, "Wow, you're a woman." Like, yes, I have to establish that, and it gets old. So anyway, thank you all, and this is for me a formative experience. So thank you.
Nice. So our ambition, just as with connecting female candidates and companies, the ambition with the Female Founders Initiative is to unite the female founders and then also identify all the resources out there for female founders. The investors, the big corporates that aims to become pilot customer, partners, really rigging that support ecosystem around them. And so I wanted to check with both of you, what are the type of resources that you currently seek and that we can help you connect with through the world of Tool?
Okay, men, I said already.
Yeah.
No, I don't need that. I need, I basically need right now a very passionate management team. We're splitting the company into 3 separate companies, the world could be ours in green solutions, making the shift happen. So a great management team and industrial partners as well. That's what we need. So anyone, just reach out. I'll be here, or you can find me from social media.
Super. Thank you, Helena. And Danielle, what about you? You're becoming a ship owner. I hope to see so many more self-founded female ship-owning companies in the years to come. What do you need?
2 things off the top of my head that Veer really needs. One is clients or partners who want to ship clean. So if you know companies that wish they could eliminate their carbon footprint, please put them in touch. We would really like to have letters of intent to ship clean. As well, I would very much like to have some additional investors. We have secured quite a good amount of investment. I won't go into a pitch here tonight, but I could. I'm almost about to jump into it. I would very much like to find additional investors to bring us to shipyard. We have received approval in principle from the American Bureau of Shipping, so our design is completely done up until bid package phase, and we just need a little bit more investment to actually send those bid packages out and receive quotes. That means that we're just this far away from actually choosing a yard and starting to cut steel for this ship. That's what I need. Thank you.
So, I'm so much looking forward to hanging out with you guys tonight and introduce you to everyone. But of course, I'm sure you realize why I put these two founders on the stage, right? And there's so many more where they come from. And I hope at least Helena will be back for She Conference. I'm not sure I haven't asked you yet, but I mean, open arms. Yes. Are you coming?
Yes.
Great. Yay. So, and then of course we were supposed to have Susanna here, but she will also be back for She Conference. Now, let's hear from the big players. Hey. We hadn't even announced the candidate initiative like officially in any way. And then I have Ida joining the candidate pool from Maersk. And then there was some more people from Maersk coming in here and there, and we also collaborated with Maritime CEO conference in India and stuff. So because we believe that if you have the best people on board and the diverse talents and brains, you will perform better. Better financial results, smarter solutions, brighter future. So now I wanted to hear from some of the shipping companies that are now inside the pool, both as, because you will normally both be a candidate and potentially a company partner and customer with us. Why did they get on board and what do they need? I want to hear like what do they need for themselves as candidates, and what are like the equality targets, what are the barriers that we collectively can help them and get it. So I will start with Ida. You come all the way from Copenhagen and Maersk head office.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a huge pleasure also for me to see so many females here joining here today. I would say I actually represent both, Maersk as a corporate player, but also Maersk Growth as a strategic investor. So I've been with Maersk for 11 years. But a year ago, I joined Maersk Growth. And basically, we work as a strategic investor, investing in early stage startups. And we also partner with more mature scale-ups. And I have to say, I was really surprised when I joined the world of venture capital and Maersk Growth, just to see just how little diversity there was in the founding teams of the companies that we were partnering with. In Maersk, we are working on a number of different initiatives. Some of them are, we also want to have female representation in management positions. 40% by 2025 is slightly more ambitious than Norway. But we also think it's equally important for startups and young companies to, start out the journey on a high note with a diverse team that can really bring about that much needed innovation and also much better results.
Thank you. And then we have Hedda Fellin from Hurtigruta. And we've known each other since before you were in shipping, when you were in Equinor and worked on the wind initiatives in Scotland. So what about you guys? And what do you need from us?
We have so ambitious targets and so much exciting things happening. So we definitely need to tap into the talent pool. So that's the first part. As you say, Birgit, I come from oil and gas industry, and I'm actually used to be the only woman in the room. Also, there are many places. But when I then joined the maritime industry, I realized that oh my, we have a long way to go. In Hurtigruta Group, we are actually 3,500 people across the world, 62 nationalities, which is good for the diversity part. And the senior leadership is 42%, which is good. But the rest of the organization, we're not there yet. And me, the proud CEO in Norway, we have 1,200 seafarers, sailing on the coast of Norway. We have done so for 130 years and will continue to develop and push the industry. And then we just need desperately high quality talent, and the girls and women are too few. So it needs to start from the top. So if you're not the leaders of your company, push your leadership, because this is leadership responsibility. And then we have to go all the way through to the schools, and we have to get the girls motivated and inspired early. So that's one of my heart hjertesaker. So all of us in the room, we are role models, and we can inspire. And when I am out talking to apprentices and they are 16 years old and they wonder what they're going to do, then we have to inspire them to get them, show them that maritime industry has so much interesting opportunities, and bring them on board. So that's why this is a great initiative, Birgit. So I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much, Hedda. Jannike, I guess you're the one I've been working with the longest. Since I think first time you invited me to come to the Philippines.
I did 8 years ago.
So, yeah. So when I was much more junior, at least. And Jannike, how does it look from the Greek side? Because of course Elizabeth is one of our investors in Tool. She's been a mentor for me from now almost 12 years and supporting all of the equality initiatives over the years. And how does it look from your side? What are the targets? What do you need? How can we contribute with this global pool?
With the kind of leadership that we have had, when you mentioned Elizabeth, of course we have always been very focused about having women in core positions or in management positions. So I'm happy to share that we have reached our pledge, but we're not yet done. So what we are looking at now is that I'm working for Grieg Maritime Group as Vice President for People and Performance. And Grieg Maritime Group consists of different companies. So what we're looking at now is that we're taking a look at each company to look at how is the percentage within each company. Because some of those companies are more technical, and that's where we struggle more, right? So what I really like about this initiative, Birgit, is that it will help us to find the right candidates. When you have a vacancy in your company, you will get applicants, but you might not reach out to all of those that you want to apply, right? So then we could go to this pool, we can see if are there candidates in this pool that we could actually contact, and that can be of value. And I also think that the female candidate pool will also help us with another challenge, and that is the challenge that we're facing in the industry. I mean, the maritime industry is moving so swiftly, and we know that there is a need for upskilling, reskilling of our current workforce, and why not use the pool for exactly that purpose, right? Because if we give our colleagues or our employees a chance to take on different kind of roles in other organizations, they will bring back competence that we can use internally in our company, and at the same time we develop our own employees.
Thank you, Jannike. This was what we saw over so many years. I started my maritime career in global HR in the Wilhelmsen Group, working there for almost 5 years internationally. And I've seen for so many years that, the women are there. Sometimes they're kind of asked to be, just wait. Other times you see there are challenges, hinders, there can be harassment, even though harassment goes also across genders. And then what we have a huge challenge on is not just the issue of recruiting women, but it's the retention and the development of women. So how can we kind of bridge this gap organically two-way, that we help lift up the talents to give them competence that is good for them strategically as an individual and for their employer. So a couple of the other companies that are already in the pool, Ulstein and Havila Voyages, they couldn't be here tonight, but they're already now in the process now of scoping out key strategic competence that they would want some of their female leaders and leader candidates to get and acquire while they're in the group through us in order to be ready for the next step. So I think this is kind of just building this together as an industry, together, borderless, across segments, across the different regions. It's like the world is ours if we collaborate together. So thank you so much. And I have one greeting also to send over. I think that is the next. Oh, I'll just wait. So there has been, of course, a lot of maritime and ocean focus now, but we are also in the energy space. So one of our partners is an organization called the Women's Energy Club of Ukraine. It is the organization for female leaders in the energy sector in Ukraine. And the leaders couldn't be here today, but they hope they can send a delegation for the She Conference. They will actually need some funding to make that happen. But our partners in Ukraine, they have sent us a greeting. So I really hope that you will follow their call for support as well, as they will share what they need while they are at war.
Hello everyone, my name is Valentina Bilyakova and I'm co-founder and president of Women's Energy Club of Ukraine, as well as Operations Manager Solutions Europe, country global company. Today I'm glad to present our club there, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity. So let me tell you what we did during last 6 years, and afterwards I would like to pass the words to my colleague Marina and co-founder, who will tell you about what we are looking for, what kind of support do we need in such conditions that we have right now in Ukraine. Women's Energy Club of Ukraine. We organized a platform for all women who are working in the energy sector in Ukraine. We established quarterly meetings for the members. We have our annual conference, Energy Has No Gender. With the support of Henrik Böll Foundation, we performed research for the current gender situation in Ukraine, current needs, and current problems that we have. We've signed memorandums of cooperation with Ukrainian companies for the implementation of the energy gender equality policies in their companies. We organized annual competition for the women of Ukrainian energy sector. With the support of USAID, we performed different trainings for our members. You can see here some pictures from the trainings where our members taken part because we believe that they need to grow up. Our experts took part in different conferences. Our club signed cooperation agreement with DENA, and with their support, our members were able to take part in the conference Women Energize Women, as well as to take part in different business meetings organized by DENA. During war in Ukraine, we established a mentorship program for the relocated women. We supported one of Ukrainian city in the gender program implementation at the local government level. We are part of the Green Deal project implementation supported by European Union. Our members need support. They need to believe in themselves. They need to grow. Marina Ilchuk will tell you more about our needs and further strategy. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Marina Ilchuk, and I am co-founder and board member of the Women Energy Club of Ukraine. I'm also a counsel of energy practice of CMS law firm in Kiev. I'm honored to have the chance to speak about opportunities and needs of Women Energy Club of Ukraine. As already mentioned by Valentina, members of our club are energy professionals, female energy professionals. But sometimes those energy professionals do not believe in themselves or do not know and realize how powerful they are. For this reason, we are seeking an access to a strong mentorship program and platforms in order to raise female energy leaders. We believe that those new female energy leaders could be later on co-founders of energy business. Those could become advisors, board members to the energy companies. And thus we are open to all opportunities in order that Ukrainian female energy leaders come on radar of energy companies that are seeking for strong advisors, board members, and just career opportunities for these women. Based on our experience, we've seen that trainings, company tours, offline meetings and workshops is something that is really helping in strengthening our network, in exchanging the energy, helping women to energize each other. Thus, if you see that your company, if you believe that your company or any company that you do know is seeking for this kind of cooperation, we would be really happy to get in touch. Myself and Valentina are honored to present the idea of our club, and we would be happy to provide more details. And the organizers of the conference do have our contacts, so please do not hesitate to contact us, and we will be happy to be empowered and to help to empower you. Thank you.
After lockdown, we're living in a world where you can have a lot of opportunities regardless of where you're located and sitting. So the Ukrainian female energy leaders, they want to find mentors through the tools form. They want to find advisory board roles and various careers opportunities that will also help for the next stage, because Ukraine is going to be rebuilt after the war. And the role of women in that rebuilding and rebuilding in a clean energy infrastructure for the future is extremely important. So we can help spending this time in history by empowering and preparing them for those next stages and a very tough job ahead. That is, I think, true action and value. So I hope you're all inspired. I hope you will join our initiatives moving forward. And I think that what has been said by She for years, and Heidi is the founder, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But we think that we should, at this point, be able to both go fast and far. So that means we need collaboration and we need each other. So enjoy the night, welcome on board, and have fun.